Okie dokie. Hello everyone. Welcome back. Hopefully this time I don't have any audio issues. I did a quick test recording of myself speaking earlier and there were no problems. So hopefully that remains true as I go live. But yeah, anyway, welcome back. We are up to part 11 now of our Great Ace Attorney Chronicles playthrough. Last time, as you know, when we left off, I needed to go for a bloody walk because I was just so mad. I was so angry. This court, these court proceedings are literally the worst. But yeah, so we're trying to defend our defendant, our client, Mr. Soseki Natsume, who was accused of stabbing a woman in the back. And things aren't going well for us right now. But hopefully we can turn that around in this section of the game, our summation examination number 2. And yeah, hopefully I can keep my cool better this time. Alright, I'll try not to get salty at a goddamn RPG game. Alright, let's go! Adventure of the Cat of Kokoro. Kokoro? I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. Also, I see why it's considered like an old archaic thing, because it seems kind of broken if you can just keep asking for these, right? Although I guess if it's at the judge's discretion, it's slightly better. Thank you, Judge, for granting me a second chance. And I have decided that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. We are, my lord. Fuck you. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Right, straight into it. Let's go. Judicial findings. The jury's contentions. The accused left behind evidence of the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. Yeah, that is pretty damning, I gotta admit. If there was a novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Right? Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Dearie me, it was only a little book, hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Okay. Wait, is it not gonna be a thing where it turns out Joan was throwing shit, including a knife, out the window and it hit the fucking victim? Would it? No, that's crazy. Yes. Considering more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. Considerably more tangible arguments. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And, moreover... Fuck you! No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as though the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how this can be argued any other way. That means I'm afraid that during this summation examination, it is essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. Joe... Gary Deb... the throwing knife. There. See, I can speculate too. Fuck, bitch. Okay, sorry. I did promise I wouldn't get salty, and I'm already super salty. Okay. And there I was thinking that this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be the end of the trial. This literally will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. It's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. Aye, Captain. I presume you're prepared, Counsel. Oh, yeah, my lord. Alright, Yosuke, focus your mind now. Yeah. Clearly, the key to this summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Miss Garadeb. We have a book that disappears from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. Don't forget to keep an eye on Miss Garadeb and how she reacts to the things other people say. Alright. Okay. Walk, fashion baby. Let's do this. Can't dispute that, because those are his books. Let's see. A novel explanation about how the victim was stabbed. Wait, no, I should press all of them, because Susato did say we should keep an eye on how Miss Garadeb reacts. But as we now know, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? Can you? Oh, we can. Also, we can pursue them even in a summation examination. That's pretty good. Okay, good. There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes. The part I have a problem with? Sorry? Well, at the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. Theory? That's not exactly how I put it. No? Well, anyway, the point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. Well, across the road is hardly a strong alibi now, isn't it? So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it. John lives a Nipponese fellow. Honestly, can't see what this palaver? What this palaver's about? It's a done deal, isn't it? Suppose it is. Since I have nothing witty left to say. If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider. Hold it! What kind of stuff would cause you to reconsider? So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight in your face! I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. No, I need cold hard evidence. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. That's great. If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, is it? So why read them in the first place? Eh? Is that a commentary on like fast news? Like the fast news cycle? It being like mostly gossip and stuff? Or is she just making a comment on how she doesn't put any stock in those news stories? You see? Modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking. Wouldn't she say? Okay, I think it's a comment on her not giving a shit about facts and evidence. Not at all extreme. As I see it, an overly
overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite one or two minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic, wouldn't you say?
I mean, this is a criminal case. We shouldn't be on the bounds of possibilities. We should be beyond all reasonable doubt. So no, you're not. Fuck you. You and your shitty bonnet.
No, it's a nice bonnet.
I do actually like her outfit. I think it's very nice. But you and your shitty backwards logic. Fuck you. Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know? So I'll be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
Oh my god, this is paining me. Okay. I'll be happy to do that too. If only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you admitted rational there. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime if the window is closed, can it?
Hold it!
But what if the window is cracked open? Oh yeah, but what if the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. I mean, how do you know? Were you there? How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. What's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel? You can't really refrain from childish bickering? Sorry. Somehow, I need to show that there's an undeniable possibility the window was open. Because this young man isn't gonna budge otherwise. Fuck you, Joan. Alright, let's quickly. We actually haven't got any evidence about that tiffle that Sherlock and I saw about the Gyarados. Which is a bit of a shame. Wait. Because, like, this does prove that, like, you know, directly opposite. The incident happened directly opposite. So, like, what if, like, she threw a flaming book out, the victim fucking stopped and was like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? Bent over to pick it up, and then, a knife came flying out and also hit her. But there are no, there's nothing on this knife that's particularly, like, identifying. Apart from the fact that it's missing a tip. Which, you know, doesn't mean much to me right now. Although I have to admit, it is stuck in pretty deep. So it's hard to believe that someone threw it with enough force to, like, stab her like that bad. Yeah, and oh my god, is that the cover is badly burned. Okay, well, I'll just keep pressing. So far we have no hard evidence.
Hold it!
Oh my god's testimony. But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
The flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Well, he brought it upon himself! That's playing with fire to betray a theory of love. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yeah. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Miss Caradib.
Never you mind that. The point is we're just having a jovial little dispute. Nothing more.
Jovial, she says.
And I won't have any more of these suggestions that it was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. But what about juror number 5? Oh, he keeps getting swiped at. Doesn't seem to be turning a hair, Miss Caradib's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as if he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
know if that counts as a gentle song. Look, I just want to get it over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Hold it!
Do you also have marital issues? Is this going to descend into the fucking discussion about domestic abuse? Oh god. You just want to get this over with?
How can you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before. What? Told you already. Day laborer, aren't I? Don't bring home some readies with me tonight. You'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? Oh man. You heard me. My missus isn't one to mess about. No, she can be fierce. Believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss then. Situation like this popped up the other day. It was, well, you know, it's funny. I can't quite remember. Why? Was it because it wasn't worth remembering? Or is it because she gave you a concussion? Hello? Oh, hello? Sir, are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. Sorry? It's too frightening. It's a thing. I must have blocked it out! Holy shit. Trauma suppression. Holy fuck. Blink twice, sir. Do you need help? No, don't. This is serious. We're all scared. Oh my god.
I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of marital issues around, isn't there? I almost forgot about the beats. Don't even go there, Mr. Sato.
There must be some way to jog his memory about this.
Are we gonna play fucking psychiatrist now? We're going to do freaking marriage counseling here in this court of law? What is with this case an abusive spouse? Right? What the fuck is with that? What's happening? There's like 3 cases of goddamn like actual like domestic abuse going on or some sort. Like, I'm not equipped to deal with this. I'm a law student here. I'm not trained to deal with this. This is bad. Oh my god. Oh my god, this game. What's happening in this game? God. We have Miss B literally like yanking her husband around in a way that's kind of borderline not good. Like, sure, it can be seen as cute, but I don't think it's particularly healthy, that relationship. Then you have Miss Garadeb, who flew off the handle. Like, yeah, sure, people have bad days, but even on bad days, I'd imagine throwing flaming incendiaries at your spouse is not a great sign. And then we have this guy who straight up says he fucking suppressed a memory because it was so traumatic. Oof. Sarah, are you okay? Blink twice. Okay. Well, at least we have one normal juror. Well, come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes.
Hold it!
Alright, let's just temporarily forget about that and dive into this. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday.
Well, that's nice.
It had, oh shit. It had 75 candles on top of it did. What a sight to behold it was. Oh, because he's Japanese. This is probably a new custom for him. You put candles on a cake? Was this kind of devil worship? Of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that it's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. Sir, your lung capacity. I can't imagine putting 75 candles in a cake, right? Even with the small birthday cake candles, like the really thin ones. Like 75 is a tall order. and how did you manage to blow the candles out of the cake, but not the flames out? The furniture could, and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. It definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold? But how did you catch a cold from a fire? Oh, I assume it was smoke, man. What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water all over me as they tried to put out the flames. Then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open the windows to clear it. The window was open in the dead of winter because there was a fucking fire. The windows. The biting winter air rushed all over me like the devil dancing on my grave it did. Got a terrible cold from it. It put me in hospital for a while. I won't forget that birthday in a hurry. Glad you survived, old man. I knew it was devil worship all along. Something about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Yeah, the open window. You all scared? Come on. Come on, buddy. We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it. I actually really hate it when like games and stuff put he or she, like and books as well. Like just use they. It's shorter as well, and it's more inclusive. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to pit them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yeah. I feel like this is that meme, where it's like, you can't beat me. Like, I know, but he can. Like from Thor Ragnarok, where it's like, the juror's like, you can't beat me. We're all scared, you weird Japanese law student. And then he's like, yes, I might not be able to, but the other jurors can. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit.
Alright, we're gonna pit, Window Man, number 3. Against number 6.
Objection!
These two jurors' statements clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again, I told you it wasn't me! Sorry, I know it's rude. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Speak up, lads! Speak up! Juror number 3. Do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was full of smoke from the fire, you'd be mad to not open the... Oh! We got him. Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garadeb household. And Mr. Garadeb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my!
Okay. Pursue? Can I pursue her now? Should I?
Excuse me!
Juror number 4. Did you have something to say about that? It's a lot of tea you're chugging. Miss Garadeb! Oh, Mrs. Garadeb. Oh, dearie me! What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is this? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? Beg your pardon? What are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did?
Well, everything! Everything if you did!
Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop stirring until the anger subsides. It'll be terribly bad for the nerves
To do so otherwise. Okay. Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish the window was open. We simply must have that added to Miss Garrideb's formal statement. Yes.
Now you mention it, yes, the window was open at the time.
I'd clean forgotten, but it's true.
There was some normal alternative explanation that happened with Miss Garrideb. Would have been open. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Wait, did I pick more? Winter house fires are dire. You have to open windows if there's smoke. That's when you get chills, see? Wait, okay, let's just press the new statement that she has.
Hold it!
See what more she has to say. The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrideb told us he'd been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he had been reading? I doubt she looked at the books before she threw them. I'm sure that throwing flaming books in anger is not a reflex but go off, I guess. Literally, like she truly hulked it. She was hulking it, because I can't imagine that when most people see fire, the first instinct is to reach for it, right? The first instinct is usually to pull away, not reach for the flaming books. But she not only did she not stop, she just kept going. Oh dear, Joan.
I did.
But you admitted. You admitted it. So easily?
Okay. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. And now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the onset?
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man! I didn't remember! At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well.
I really don't.
I barely noticed while I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Oh no, sir. Are you having things thrown at you too? The heat from the fire was nothing on the flames of her rage. I think so. I truly think so. Oh god. We have multiple people here that are victims of having projectiles thrown at them.
Excuse me!
Mr. Number 5, juror number 5? Are you alright? You know something? I remembered what it was! The memory that I blocked out! It was listening to what this granny... Oh, gee. I don't think she'll be happy with that, sir. I was listening to what this granny was saying. Put it all flooding back. Oh, yeah.
Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrideb, or the maid, I'll have you know.
The man didn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not... No! Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time. Blink twice! It was about 2 weeks ago now.
I just got back from home after work, like. Put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole! Every last penny had dropped out. Oh no. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Uh-oh. The wife was cut. Oh no, did she throw a knife at you? The wife was cut. Wait, shit. Was the knife in the victim actually from the fucking garden household? I'm gonna lose my shit if it was. The wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck in the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. What are the women of this time eating? Why are they so strong? Holy shit. No words. Just terror. I could smell that, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. Oh my god. Oh yeah. This is during the time when they were openly like pumping like raw sewage into the Thames. Like they hadn't cleaned that up yet. But I don't remember exactly, or maybe they had cleaned it up. I don't remember exactly when it was. But they literally had to pass through Parliament, like some sort of legislation to stop them from like polluting the Thames so badly because it just stunk to high hell. It was like that polluted, that bad, and they had to like paint like lime, I think, over the curtains to try to block out the smell. But after a while, it just didn't work anymore because it was, you know, because raw sewage in the river, it's not gonna smell good. Oh god. I'm sure it's gonna end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Miss Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined. No, I wasn't thinking that. Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor. Use a bow or the like. Not the point, but okay. Okay, Susato. Like, what? Attack? Who are you going to attack? Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright. We'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if I dare. A woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. Okay. So could a knife have thrown through the window and hit the... Wait, can I pit her against this statement? I don't know if that would work. Okay, let's press this again. Let's see if I get anything new. Your wife really threw a kitchen knife at you? That's right. She was chopping meat with it. Had a tidy edge on it, believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? So with that smile she threw me when we were courting. And since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship. Okay. Exactly. A Susato takedown is so much more refined than a knife. Exactly. If you're going to attack, you know, you might as well, like, properly attack. You can't just, like, pick things up and throw them. That's so uncouth. Oh, Susato. No, juror number 5. There was a cup and a glass. Then a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wardrobe, a cooker, a pot. Sir? Sir? A bathtub? Your wife must be even beefier than you. And things came to a head last week
when she threw you right into the Thames. Sir, I think you need to get a restraining order. I don't know if this relationship is healthy. At the very least, the two of you have some things to work through. I don't know. Sir, are you alright? Still, she's not so bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really. A little sweetheart. I'm so happy for you. If you want to know what I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was thought up by some clever lads, been tossed into the Thames a few many times by their wives. I think the average times a husband has been tossed into a river by their wife would be 0. Juror number 5 is so full of copium with his wife. That's so true. He literally has been hitting that copium over and over again. Oh god. That's an interesting theory. What a terrible thought. On the face of it, this jury statement just sounds like a really extreme antidote. I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternate explanation. Okay, so that's the one I give for an alternative explanation. Which is... this lady? Alternative explanation. Oh, wait, should I do the window open first? Okay, I'll do the window open first, because that's an blatant. Yeah. Definitely possibility versus was open. Okay, that
Objection!
That should work. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Hold it!
Shut up. Sorry, but as foreman of the jury, I have to object. That's complete nonsense. What? Oh shit, was I wrong? I'm a banker, don't forget. An educated man. There's no contradiction as far as I can see. Ah, fuck. So, Mr. Foreman, I will not make a whimsical attack against the good members of the jury council. Hey, there's nothing whimsical about it. Why haven't they changed their goddamn stance then? Huh? Why are they still the guilty? Bitch. Ass. Oh, okay. He literally said, I might consider if the window was open, it's a possibility. And she admits that it's open. How dare you penalize me for this? How dare you? How dare you? Could have been open. Was open. See? You son of a bitch, that's a contradiction. Okay, fine. I'll do the other thing that I was going to do. I'll pit you against you. A woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you. And the kitchen knife. And the novel explanation. Okay.
Objection!
Let's see where this goes. Those two statements clearly have a deep, significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once! Juror number 2. Do you think, perhaps, that this could be one such novel alternative? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the fourth book, The Lion's Pride, was found at the scene of the crime. Originated in Mr. Garrideb's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrideb household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Garrideb could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beanpole? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you East Gala! Gala, like the bird? As a foreman of the jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us a yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What is it?
The knife, obviously.
I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. Well, I got the knife. That's evidence, I suppose. But I'm certain, at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Right, Mr. Foreman? I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Gardeeb household to the scene of the crime...
Take that!
Juror number 4, Mrs. Gardeeb.
What? What now?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man!
Elsa stands with us. That's so cute.
My lord, remember when the victim was attacked? Mr. and Mrs. Gardeeb were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Gardeeb was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that... You believe that? The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand?
No, she bent and picked it up, obviously.
Hush. Even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh, my.
Mrs. Gardeeb, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Oh,
Was it her knife? Wait, is it the Gardeeb's knife? My lord!
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madame. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but... I just don't think it'll be right for this trial to come to an end, now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think this granny didn't mind.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents!
Grandpa, why aren't you? Okay, it's okay. I only need 4.
Okay. We did it!
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo!
Oh, as a result of the defense's summation examination, the number of jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty, against 4 now calling innocent. Well, it's like 1 juror calling guilty, and the other one is on the floor. She alright? Accordingly, the opinion of this court is now divided. The trial will continue.
Take that, one thanks, bitch.
But she reacted really badly to that knife. Does she actually recognize that knife? Is it the husband's? Is it hers? Now then, Lord Van Dykes, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? This trial is rapidly descending into a farce.
That's what I've been saying in the first place, bitch. You and me both.
You throw that glass, I swear to God. Like a corked wine. The first few sips are bitter enough. It's like his 5th glass. But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. What kind of wine are you drinking? What kind... Are you not corking your wine properly? Because if you don't cork your wine properly, it oxidizes, which makes it like nasty. It basically turns it into like vinegar. So what the fuck are you drinking, dude? Aren't you rich enough to afford good wine? If I may, Lord Van Zykes. The defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of these places being discussed. Aren't they directly across? What do you mean by that? What does angle this time? It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garadeb household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. So, they're on the second floor. So things can travel further, you know? Because they're higher up. You know, I did trigonometry once. Which means that the distance from the Garadeb's house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards. What, so 2 yards is fucking wide enough for you to jump across? But 15? Oh no, God forbid you throw something 15 meters. It's not even 15 meters, 14 meters.
Let me see, 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
14 meters? Oh, that's a little farther than I imagined. And, as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book, wantonly hurled by the lady of the house, traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between— No! She picked it up! Come on! Fuck you. Fuck everyone who can't imagine someone bending over and picking something up. I hate all of you. I hate all of you. Okay. Land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? You're the one who's deluded if you seriously think I'm fucking saying that it landed directly in her hand, this flaming book. No, it obviously landed on the ground in the snow, the flames went out, and the chick was like, hey, what the fuck is this? And picked it up. That's what I'm saying. But then the act of her picking it up meant that she stayed stationary in a position where things from the household could continue to fly at her, like a knife, for example. Fuck you. And the jackknife followed a near identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. I mean, there was a— okay, you know what? It's fine. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Okay, and that was a cutting blow. Okay, that insult was a cutting blow. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice.
I think he does. Mr. Sato, no, let her speak. She's right.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic.
Oh, she's angry about the other thing. I thought she was defending me. Oh, but no, she just likes Sherlock Holmes a lot. Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Fangirl Susato.
Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated is believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And, as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible.
Wow, he shames Sasato's detective stories. Brock is screwed now. Yes, as we've just been saying to the court, you shan't make a woman angry, lest she throw things at you. Actually, can we please throw something at him? Can we please throw something at him? Please, Sasato. Get that bow and arrow. Not to kill, just to wound. A little bit.
To that end, juror number 4 is Joan Garrigan. She must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? See, this is why you shouldn't have had her as a juror to begin with. Order, order, order! Well, this is highly irregular. This is unprecedented. Well, maybe if you had screened your jurors to start with, we wouldn't be in this situation. Cause, you know, she knows the accused. She shouldn't be a goddamn juror. Wait, did they start? Wouldn't it be funny if they started this screening the jurors like after this case because you know, like they realized it was bad. And my webcam turned off. Let me just okay. Okay, we're having issues. That's fine. Sorry for the technical issues. Let's just, you know what, let's just continue.
Objection!
Straight into the gallery once more. And unnecessary. Okay. How? Lord Van Zykes? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. Oh shit, that's true. And we must assume that they will be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Did you see it? I mean, you're half asleep, I don't trust you.
Yes, sir. Constable Rowley Beat reporting for duty, sir.
Oh, is he awake now? Oh, is that his theme? That's nice. I mean, having the jurors be involved is logically iffy, but it makes things more fun. Yeah, I have to stop being so serious. I have to remember this is a game. Where, you know, ultimately it's all about fun. Wait, why is my webcam off? Camera off, camera on. Okay. Does that fix it?
Ah.
Okay, we're back. God, have I been plagued with technical issues these past few days? That's alright. Alright, let's continue. Good morning, officer.
Sorry for dozing till now. Sir?
I haven't been slept for a month on account of a villain who's been appeared on my beat, sir. Bro.
Oh, they're so heroic, these London bobbies.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon.
Okay. Oh shit, we're getting rejected. Oh shit. I hereby reject the defense request. What are we gonna do? And all the witnesses in the stand to testify again. Okay. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir! Okay. The case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrida. Believe me, a London Barbie is good for his work. You see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrida house are top-hinged casements. What the fuck is that?
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help. My trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
You literally testified earlier that he was on the ground dead asleep. So, I don't know if we could trust him to see anything happening.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Doubt.
This is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows.
What is that? That detail was not in the police report, Constable.
Oh.
Oh my god, he's literally the embodiment of that juicy-eyed emoji. I don't know what it's called. You know the juicy-eyed one? Yeah, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. Or maybe how about you just offer more people to go in rotation so they're not exhausted?
No, sir.
Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you cannot excuse your ignorance with trite remarks, my learned friend. The fuck is top? It sounds like an architectural thing. I don't know shit about architecture, dude. Of course. Sorry. No, don't apologize. He's in the wrong. Oh, Sasato to the rescue.
I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's room.
Alright, I'll try. Mind Palace. Oh wow, what a great mind palace.
So the windows open in order to allow air to circulate inside the house.
Oh shit.
But as a top-hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see.
Okay. I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain point, or a certain amount. It prevents it from opening? Well, this is news to me.
Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if the book or knife were to be thrown through the open window,
it would land directly on the street below.
It would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below.
Oh, shit. You see the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete.
Yeah, it is complete. You're a fucking pain in my ass.
There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. Okay, but what if there's a trampoline directly below the window? Unless, that is unless the window pane had been shattered. Something we've discounted already. That can't be.
Did you see that, Rolly? The young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Oh, yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how it crumbled before me. Okay.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
Okay. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet. And my argument's already been destroyed.
Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination.
Okay, my lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. Constable Beats report. Oh, fuck. Okay. I honestly have no clue about where we're going to go from here. I guess we'll just press everything and hope for the best. How can you say that for certain?
A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the Force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? Can't say I remember. Patrol the street of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what the job is all about. And that's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife to tell you Bobby's good word is as Bobby is as good as his word. For while rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly, sir.
Oh, Rolly, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Okay. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett?
Ah, I see, sir. She said so earlier, sir.
Yeah, well, so could you answer the question? Was a waste of time.
Absolutely, sir. I'll answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. The surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to the case, sir. And it has to do with the windows.
But before I get to that, sir, just one thing.
Ooh.
Yeah?
I very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles.
You want me to act as propaganda for your fucking police force? I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here.
So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears.
Thank you, I'll try. Okay. I did want to read this earlier, so I guess I get a chance to read it now. Okay, so that pressing wasn't for nothing. Let me quickly go and check that out.
Because any new evidence is good evidence.
The principles of policing. Item number 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Item number 2. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Metropolitan Police Regulations. Item number 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. Item number 2. When a crime is discovered on his beat, the policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. When a crime is discovered on his beat. Okay, we know that it wasn't on his beat that this crime happened. I think this might come in handy later. But for now, nothing much.
Hold it!
We'll press this. By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct?
Yes, sir? They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted as to how much they open.
And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. You don't have to. Bitch. Here is the location where the objects would have fallen. Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. It's not beyond belief that the window stay, is that what it's called? It might be broken, right? Allowing the window to swing fully open. But of course we'd have to go back to the scene to check that. Would it have been so hard for someone to mention this top hinge casement thing before?
Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what will that be, sir?
How do you even know? How do you have any idea of what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house is furnished with?
Oh, because they said earlier that bobbies would knock on people's windows to, like, act as an alarm clock. Is that why? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see? Help.
Oh no, he helped with the investigation.
Helped with the investigation yesterday.
And do you have something to say, Miss? Hey,
Excuse me.
Miss you. Do you have something to add, Miss Beat, Mrs. Beat?
Sorry?
You look starstruck. Well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Why? Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for that poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. We were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Nodding off again, sir. Constable B! Oh, he's okay. No? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of the Gardav household yesterday. Our house is on my beat, you see, sir? Wait, did we have two different constables investigating this case? Court record. Wait, any crime falls under the jurisdiction of the beat which they've discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigation to help detectives. So, the crime committed on the other guy's beat, but this guy has to interview... Why? Honey? That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something.
Are there two different constables?
If the Gardav household is your beat, does that mean the pavement next to it as well?
Outside Mr. Gardav's house? Yeah, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal and celebrate our wedding anniversary.
She dragged the victim across the street? Did you drag the victim across the street in order to have a meal on your anniversary? No. Would you?
That's the life of Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies. Kyle is working for the benefit of all Londoners.
You know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Do you think so, my darling?
Must be it, Pat, my love. Must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially. Yeah, we should.
Leave it to me, Miss Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
The case file information has been updated in the court.
Oh, thank you. Now it's my turn, I think.
Did you move the fucking victim?
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
Alright.
Liar. But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Sorry? Can't it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have been lit up like a shooting star.
And if I had seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least!
Of course. That smoke and everything. Couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a knife has crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir! That is correct, sir! As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir! We do love light pollution, and just general pollution, I guess. Something seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw that poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. I did leave the scene to go fetch help. My trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Did he move the body? Because he was like, no more work. Too tired.
Hold it!
Yes, you said you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. If I had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on the beat.
So Rolly told me the way. Only, I sort of got a little lost on the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Fuck. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. What the fuck? Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
The fuck? Oh, please.
So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes.
Plenty of time to move evidence around.
But, like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true puppy is never off duty, sir. I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing strange, even as he dragged the body across, Nothing to report? That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. But your wife literally said you were sleeping. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I swear that on the yard's honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir.
Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Garden household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Maybe a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well? Highly unlikely. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping the book in her hand like that in her hand? You can see from the photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived on the scene. Was it? Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. Nor with me, my dear sir. The mystery of how the knife ended up in her back and the book ended up in her hand. There must be something common there between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Moya, please, sir. May I please ask you?
Fuck you. Oh, yeah, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us again, aren't you? I can tell.
Really? What? I wasn't really. What's she doing?
Please! Just because I'm a woman doesn't make my testimony any worthwhile, boo.
Fuck you. Patricia, come on. Get out of here.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
No one brought that up. I don't even remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it.
Oh, Jesus.
My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Miss Beat. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes, the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that! A Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he?
Literally, who is saying that? Patricia?
Oh, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Duly noted, Miss Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of
Direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Miss Beat, nobody's questioning what you told us.
I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly.
Maybe they were heading down the road from the opposite way that she thought, because she's a bad sense of direction, she says. Let me quickly check the... What if instead of going down this way, as she thought she was, heading the opposite direction, they were heading down this way. And the victim was going this way. And then so the sides of the street were flipped. So instead of happening here, it happened here. And then fucking Rolly or someone fucking moved the body because it was like I wash my hands of this job. Fuck it, I do enough overtime. Which, you know, like, respectable, I get it. But that, because the victim coming from this direction also makes sense with, you know, our client also making it through by Calabash Road, I guess. I don't know. Something is off here. Something is off here.
The little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a pleasant direction?
Yes. Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I always end up in the wrong place when I made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross. Oh, you get ever so cross now, do you, sir? Excuse me, sir.
Good thought. Once again, I'm speculating wildly and hope something sticks. This case has literally been full of turns, and oh god. I at the same time, it's been full of turns, and yet we've made absolutely no progress at all, and I hate it. Constable Beat, is there a problem? Hey, you okay there? Eh? Oh? Oh, no, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? No, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. But she had gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. So longer than 15 minutes. Thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes. Oh, my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, Rolly, you're such a But the reason why I was so long was because of the...
Bouquet?
Silly?
Bouquet? Sorry? What bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for a wedding anniversary. Rolly's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic!
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Have you, my darling? Had you, my darling?
Had you also forgotten about your flowers? Huh? Ah? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about that bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you mentioned. I'd like you to add that detail about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Where's this going?
What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Oh, sorry. I want to press this.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and saw a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on.
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
Oh, Mr. Rolly Beat, what have you done? In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased. Oh, that's true.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from on the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably.
That's That's right. Silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time, I can't think of how I got there. I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick up the bouquet again when we left the scene. The beautiful rose Rolly bought me, with all that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean... I'm sorry. this solitary rose.
Oh! Oh, yes, that's it!
And where was I found, Mr. Zikes? Where was I found?
That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with odd bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose. Yeah, I think for a bouquet you need more than one flower. Tell us, Lord Van Zikes, where did you come by this flower? Yes, do tell us, sir. According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, this was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garadeb household.
In front of the Garadeb's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Exactly where she said she dropped it.
It was believed to be no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I have it back now, please?
No, it's evidence. No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Yes.
Oh, you can have it back after. It's okay.
But it's a symbol of a love.
Your husband committed a crime.
I want it back after the trial. You hear me? I want it back.
Good grief. Rest assured. Should do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Nothing strange? That's so, sir. I don't think there should be anything to really read about this.
This is a lovely rose, though. This is a really nice... It's a nice gift. An English rose. Such a beautiful flower.
Oh, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen them before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly. Do you know 3 types at least?
Gosh, 3?
Yeah! Plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossoms. Technically true.
But perhaps you should consider branching out, letting some that aren't fruit tree based, for example.
Also, like peach blossoms, cherry blossoms, and like fucking plum blossoms. They all look very similar. I feel like you should look at some more flowers. It's very stylish paper. The flowers wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Miss Naruhodo.
Oh, but just because I'm not used to seeing English print, it looks exotic to me.
Oh, I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone, baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
That's just such a sign. Do you love your cakes? Yeah, nothing to see here. Let's press you. Nothing to report. It's correct, sir. Had my eyes wide the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Swear on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
What if I should present the rose at this one? Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? All seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally from the Garadeb household. So the question remains how did it find its way onto the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a... Oh no, did I press this already? Oh yeah, this is familiar. Oh, sir. Is that so? Okay. think I should present it then.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you make of all this?
Yes, the whole idea of the invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garrideb was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. Isn't that right, Mr. Beat? Okay, cool. Just need to figure out which where to present the rose. This time, it's going to expose a whole truth about this mysterious event. Okay, okay. Nothing was disturbed. Do I present it here? Nothing was disturbed. Or do I give it to him? I'll present it here. I think that's where it should be presented.
Objection!
You claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that piece, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. Thank you, sir. That's going to become very important soon, you'll see. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a sorry single bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back to the gutter where it belongs. Oh, you're so mean.
Meager?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to that fact?
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore that on Scotland Yard's honor. The bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrideb's book. Mrs. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless someone deliberately moved them. Yes! Yeah, you know what? Yank him, he deserves it.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
I do think that.
Don't listen to a word that squirrely lawyer says, also fuck you. Blittering about books and bouquets? What should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh good, Mrs. Garrideb's come round. Racist ass. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrideb. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called tampering? Tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, because they are a London bobby. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who could have possibly had the cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? You know, I'm starting to think that Van Zykes, when he says learned friend, he's doing the Regina George thing. He's like, wow, I love your skirt. And he turns around and is like, that's the fucking ugliest skirt I've ever seen. He is a Regina George, I think. A Regina George. Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Why do I always have to substantiate conjecture? Well, fucking Lord Van Zyx can just go off. He can just say whatever the fuck he wants. Alright.
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that?
He did enough overtime.
There's no one straighter than my husband. That Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. And he got tired of that.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about the Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
He'd already fled. If that were true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out. When you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Exactly. Brooke is definitely being sarcastic. I mean, he literally got real scared clown. That is true. Oh, God. Honestly, I did feel a bit like a clown this entire goddamn case, so can't fault him for saying that. But he's such a rude asshole. He's so fucking... Van yikes.
Well...
Objection!
First, you made the accusations about the landlord and his wife. Now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing.
Oh, what is it, bitch?
You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. To hide something. Oh, you want motive? I've got motive.
That's right, he's right!
Oh, I've got motive because he handed it to me.
But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. I got it. Until you do. Your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Look smug and real scared, we got him. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Nodohara, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you were mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out your reputation as a lawyer will be irreparably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, I will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Oh, boy, I got an essay for you. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That's what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you from the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Byre Road. We saw it happen, remember?
Yes, but the side of it is important, my dear.
It's right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
Oh my god. Literally, the victim bends over to pick up the knife. She's at a 90-degree angle, and the knife fucking pings off the window and stabs her in the back. God. That literally is the saddest affair. Speaking of motive, what motive does Soseki have to stab the victim? Exactly! That's what I've been... Right? I'm so glad you understand me. There was no motive, but they're like, oh no, a foreigner. foreigners are just like that. They just want to harm the good people of London. Fuck this court. Fuck you all. I'm beginning to wonder whether this tumultuous trial will come to end. Counsel? If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Come on, Von Zykes, use your fucking brain cells.
Take that!
You should know where I'm going with this.
But that's the opposite side of the road.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garridow's book fell directly down from an open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Got you fuckers now.
Objection!
Yeah, try it, bitch. Perhaps you have been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
Exactly, I did. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
What? No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beats then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
Okay, I presume. You presume correctly, sir. Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few moments ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zykes said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes. Couldn't have been seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Bitch-ass Constable Rolly Beat. Is he gonna like bite through that chin strap and like go like full beast mode? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Okay.
Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything came out. Everything exposed. Is he straight up confessing? Only, it seems, it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Oh man! What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Leaving a corpse is...
I mean, she's not dead.
It's a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself! Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. You guys are driving them too hard. You know what? I don't blame him. I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about it, all this. Damaging the yard's reputation for everything. Wait. Was it not to avoid work? Was there another reason? I have a possible explanation. for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. Oh no, wait, it is the work thing. How could you possibly know? He literally gave it to me, like 5 minutes ago. You saw this. You? A foreigner? Presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman? And yet, Lord Van Zykes, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter this far. Yeah! Judge, man! You're cool. You're good. You're good in my book. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lord's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you better show us some evidence. Yes, sir. All at once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. Oh, was it not to avoid work? Was it specifically to avoid work on that one day so he could spend the anniversary with his wife? Oh, now I feel bad for shitting on him. What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions? What's the thing he gave me?
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learnt that, though honourable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat, in all kind of ways, there's no doubt that the young bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Now I feel bad for shitting on him. Sorry, man. I take it back a little bit. Sorry. That was pretty wholesome of you, actually. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary!
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled across a crime along Briar Road. When he saw the shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
But sir, that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care.
Aww. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to me, to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigation and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not, the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said is alright. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh!
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious! Constable! Do you realize the gravity of what you've done?
It's the first time since I became a papa that I'd ever cursed God.
Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could be lurking somewhere.
As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. I've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigation and help detectives. Why here? Why did it have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a cop's job to guard the scene of the crime, so told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever's on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mersham Street, and then... I'm... Sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Constable.
I just want that one night to make my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Rolly.
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street, to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. See, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did! Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
That's fair, you know. I see your meaning now. But God got me back from my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly! It was all my fault! I should never have dropped it in such a dark place! I'm so sorry, Rolly!
Yes, I should have helped you commit the crime. These bobbies just need a break. Yeah, Again, I feel really bad for shitting on him earlier. God. The system is broken! We're blaming the system! Let this man go! And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total? 4? 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garridip household, of course.
But what made you place the book in the victim's hand? It was already there. She got stabbed when she was bending over to pick up the fucking book. Honestly? Girl, me too. When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir. That's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. Oh, God. Truly was just an unfortunate accident. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. Oh, yeah, I can't blame him either. Because from his point of view, a guy murdered a woman and then ran off. So he was like, well, you know what's... This crime doesn't hurt anyone. Me tampering with the evidence is a victimless crime, but I get to spend the night with my wife. Ah, fuck. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it just had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it. I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zoix. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. What? Wait, why you... Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir!
Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my rollie? What happened to him?
Well, he's probably gonna get charged with fucking tampering, isn't he? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This is all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Hand in your fucking badge, I guess. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of the crime.
Oh, so he's suggesting that he's not gonna get fired. That's nice of him.
Never again, sir? You mean to say? Still a Bobby. Leave. Now. The trial's not yet over. You're not fired! Congratulations! Sir! Oh, that's good. That makes me feel slightly better. Well, quite a startling revolution, I must say. Whoever thought a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Sosaki Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly committed the crime.
Nah, sir. You think you've escaped? No.
I've got you, bitch. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Joan? So another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Yes! Drag him! Lord Van Dykes, is this true? Farce, bitch. Very well. Name the person, if you will, and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
Alright.
Joan Gardeb. Bitch ass.
Take that!
The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it is imperative that we cross-examine jury number 4, Miss Joan Garadeb.
Me? How dare you me?
Objection!
Shove it up your ass. That request has already been denied.
Objection!
But new information has come out, sir. But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garadeb, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad?
Do you recognize this knife, bitch? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garadeb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited, and to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks over Briar Road.
Well, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top-hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly below, and finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During that argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garadeb. Is this knife familiar to you? This knife, the one removed from the victim's back. Have you really never laid eyes on it before?
Oh!
Remember, perjury is a crime! Perjury is a crime! See, this otherwise would have been an accident, but now I can get you on perjury, bitch. I don't recall it. Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there in all the regalia said the members of the jury don't need to testify, didn't he? Conveniently? Yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4.
Okay, Lord Van Zykes, you have just clawed back some favorable points. You thought you could get away, didn't you, Joan?
Make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You're not immune to the judicial process. Get your ass on the witness stand. If you know something about this knife, madame, let the truth come out.
But that's just common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know?
What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Gardub?
Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone.
Did you hear?
I couldn't bear it. Oh, that poor woman. No, Susato, you bleeding heart. So yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife, if that's what you think. Come along now. Chop chop. Do your worst. Fuck you.
Well, Mrs. Naruhodo? Fingerprinting isn't a thing yet, so I don't know, man. If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror.
No!
The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman.
Oh, Van Zykes, thank you!
Thank you, Lord Van Zykes. She clearly has no qualms about hurting her husband, though. Oh my god. I can't stand the thought of hurting a stranger, but this person I married? God, you know, that's fine. You're so right. Oh my gosh, the double standards here. Oh, jeez.
I'm going to have to testify?
Testify. Juror number 4. I'm sure you appreciate having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witness themselves may not even have been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Gardub. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth.
Hell yeah!
Do you concur, counsels?
Absolutely, sir.
Certainly, my lord.
Oh,
That's exactly what I'm hoping for, my lord.
Yes.
This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. This is justice. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garadeb. And I'm, I'm a juror and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know she's a housewife or a maid anymore. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters on this case. Do you understand, madame?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. I swear to God, if the identifying thing on this knife is the fact that it's missing its tip, I'm like, how hard would she have had to throw this knife that it embedded itself that deep into a person without a pointed tip? Like, holy shit, dude.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, John's there. Oh, that's sweet.
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now.
Aww. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John.
Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to tell off the spy as well, don't you?
But what about your knee, dear?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. Not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
Presume you are Mr. John Gardner? Yes, sir! Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir? Oh, that's a lot of numbers. See my fair share of action and some, now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life. Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Well, yes. Quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. I guess they're going through thick and thin. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Okay. Knocked the candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed it if 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'd have a job proving it, I think. Yes, exactly what I was thinking. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although, an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us the hot buzzer, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware of that on every battlefield, you are just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Are we still talking about marital quarrels here? Oh, well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, when one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have just testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zykes might well be right.
Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Alright. I think if I press about his knives, I might be able to get that missing tip thing. But if it was the missing tip thing, holy shit! Girl, how hard did you throw that knife? Yeah, wait, let me press. I was picking up whatever I could find and throw at him. Here we go. Plenty of knives around our place. One thing I've noticed if one or two are missing. Wait, what's this one again? Double proving knife. Okay, let's press about the knives.
Hold it!
You got any knives with distinguishing features?
Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot of carving, you see? Pipes and whatnot, fishing tackle.
Oh, you carved your own pipe. That's quite nice.
You know, that sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I carve little wooden trinkets too. Then there's my little work.
Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place. We have dozens of things.
They sell at the market sometimes, 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snapped them up.
Buy 19, get one free. I don't think that's a good deal. I think you'd save more money if you just invested in a good whetstone.
John prefers to use 2 knives at mealtimes too, instead of a knife and fork.
Okay. I mean, this is the Victorian era, isn't it? So are forks recent? Because if I remember correctly, in England, back in the day, they would just eat off the end of their knives rather than, because forks weren't invented yet. Forks came in quite a lot later, so they might be recent. I'm not 100% about this. No, Jode, we don't want people thinking I'm some sort of directly into the pipe. Here we go again with the scoldings. Why are they being so evasive?
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir? Okay.
Hold it!
So you have no intention of admitting that it was your knife, unless we can produce proof? Even though there is no other credible possibility if Mr. Natsume is innocent?
Objection!
Why are you gonna call me leading the witness now? You forget, my Nipponese friend, that this has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack. As if I could forget! If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. I suppose wizardly like that is just a dream. Foreshadowing for fingerprinting. Oh, man. Oh, Ryosuke, just you wait. Before the end of the century, you'll have all sorts of ways to have collect forensic evidence. But I guess you'll be an old man by then. Oh, wait, no, fingerprinting is existing. It exists!
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? You mean wizardry? That sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say. But I can't see anything. There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice. Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation. But for now, we have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion. That the knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mr. Garadev's house.
If only I could transport this whole incident several years in the future.
Oh, so fingerprinting was around in the Victorian era. I did not know that.
So let's extend this ceremony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I think we've heard this all before, to be honest.
Can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony. But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury.
If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Yes, it would.
So for Sosaki-san's sake, we must find the last crucial piece of evidence. Okay, we keep pressing.
Hold it!
The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garadev.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garadev found the note, discovering her husband's little secret.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. Sorry for airing your dirty laundry. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just need to press everything to make sure I have all the details. I really didn't mean to air your dirty laundry. I'm really sorry, sir. I say, when a chap says he doesn't record such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide off the mark anyway.
A likely story.
These waters run very deep. What transpired next after all these multiple blows to the face? Again, sir, I'm so sorry.
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some of the items of furniture, didn't it? Bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. It so happened there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed it about to put it out.
Oh yeah, but plumbing isn't a thing.
A most scary situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, but the water main isn't connected yet. You have to draw water from public water pump during the day if you need any, you see. And that's how you get cholera.
The lodge is always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although, that little mustache Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
To avoid cholera. The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea in all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man?
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. That is most certainly not true of a society to take down, Miss Naruhodo.
I don't know if I can defend you on that, Susato. You threw me like 6 times over the course of the second case. How did you know I was thinking of that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Oh, sir.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, sir? Was something in the napkin? Mr. Gary Deb! Don't shoot! Sorry, I beg your pardon? Did your wife remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just a barrage of projectiles that old thing launched in my direction. It was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with every belly. Good grief, woman, we're not at home now. This is the court of law. Yeah, please don't openly abuse your husband here.
Oh, dearie me. I'm so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here? And how does she still have hot tea? This trial's been like 6 hours in.
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, Your pipe, sir? I had the thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes.
Is there a knife tip in there somewhere, perhaps?
When I went to pick it up, it's broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. The pipe was broken. It would never have been set flying unless it was hit by something really solid. Anyway, managed to bandage the thing up for now. Oh, it's not like a handle grip thing. It's literally holding it together.
You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
Don't gaslight him! I wonder what we should make of this account. It could be important. Add it. Give it to me. Let me get my filthy little hands all over that fucking pipe. The defense believes Mr. Garrida's remark just now to be great significance.
Objection!
No, come on. This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betrayal of fury rife and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Nothing in this case has been common sense.
In that case, Would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Thank you, Sasato. Thank you.
Well, I don't see why not.
Thank you, Mr. Garadeb. Oh, dearie me. There you go again, trying to, ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
She's 16, ma'am. Well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Thank you, Sasato. Oh, Sasato once again. MVP.
I hope you didn't speak out of turn, Miss Naruhodo.
No, you are invaluable.
I was just feeling rather disappointed for you and that your request was turned down.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thanks to Sato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Is it here? Yes, it is. Alright. Yes! Yeah! Oh my god, I love being right. I love being right!
Oh,
Something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think.
How the fuck was he using it with this knife tip in there, though? Because he's been using it this entire time. What the hell? Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. Surely it couldn't be. Small piece of metal that looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade, stuck inside Mr. Garadeb's pipe. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, thank you for that. The battle, Mr. Garadeb. Now we can turn to the crux of the battle. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? With your knives? Oh, I would have a job of proving it, I think.
Objection!
But I have just the thing. Mr. Garadeb, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment. Of course, but that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does. Dearie me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter in every other word.
You must be very dizzy. Don't be mean to this poor man's freaking failing eyesight. What is this? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes. Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear to at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garadeb's pipe. I swear, you guys should have all seen me literally turn around my hands. We are all in court right now. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how it got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it is some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. Oh, she's on a little apple crate. That's so cute. You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence paired with this fragment of metal allegedly released the truth of the entire case? Man, this Joe Garadeb sure has an arm. This knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a small piece of the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in the victim's bones. Ooh, okay. That's a fun fact, I guess. What of this particular knife? No doubt his tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. It's here with us in court today.
The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Gyarados' pipe. Ooh, gotcha. Good grief, Lord Van Zykes. I don't believe it. Is he a JoJo character? Owen from Fire Emblem. The knife from the crane scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match! Oh, did I throw it across the courtroom to give it to him? Playing Tetris in the courtroom. Is this some sort of haste and sorcery? Bitch ass! This is no magic, my lord. This is science! This is a miracle! A miracle? So Van Zykes has figured it out, has he? Let's see. Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once! Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did this fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Gyarados' pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. This thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught? Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Gyarados flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gyarados, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that's when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Gyarados' pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1! Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it when you were fixing your pipe. And yet, there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Gyarados' house, was the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back in the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear! No! Oh, I just noticed his butt is showing because his coat is banned. Oh dear, dear, dearie me. A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost impossible vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Okay. That feels racially charged. Sorry? But after all that, it is just a theory. A game theory! No. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see... Oh, okay. It's spoilt by the insurmountable inconsistency. It's gonna be like, oh, if it's in her back and she's walking along, how did it get there? She was picking up the book, you bitch! An insurmountable... What? Lord Van Zykes, explain yourself! What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yeah, No, you're not scared. Use your brain. Ayya. That's right, you silly little man! Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way it could have planted itself in the victim's back. Rosuke, use your brain, come on. Home run, we're almost there. Final stretch. We got this. Quite right. You see, that's exactly right. The knife had fallen on her from above. It would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well, I mean, then you'll be in here for manslaughter.
He lost for word, look. I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place.
I don't know though. Was it really? Did it really happen? What did happen? What about that? It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. No, I have evidence. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
Morosuke, come on. Almost there. Exactly. Don't give up now.
I was so sure we were on the right track. Now the way has been blocked completely. By just one simple inconsistency. Keep looking! Or in other words...
We simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand.
Mr. Sato? Oh, Sato, light of my life.
You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
How's Sato time? What will we do without you? It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tactical acceptance of your theory is fatally flawed. Oh, sir, your ass is showing.
Objection!
You got this. Lion's pride, lion's pride. This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test! Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Unless, under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness! That's a madness! Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back.
Take that!
Lion's pride. This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The bird's book? Is that not Mr. Garudep's book? Yes, and to understand the significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all know, it was the police constable that put the book in her fingers like that. Right so, part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement to that point. But what made you put that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, it must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd be doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? But, by Jingo. Jingo? I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garudep household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fall, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
Look I threw? Yes, Mrs. Garda. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you in the pavement? Well, I would really can't imagine it. But I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up. Yes! That's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh, heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by chance directly behind Mrs. Green, was the defendant, Mr. Sosaki Natsume. Why, never! It appeared to Mr. Natsume. The woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind the case. Yes, my boy! Through his spine, you solved the case. I'm so proud of you. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gardeb? The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Garadeb. No, really, she was willing to fucking put an innocent man behind bars for her mistake. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but I decided to be a racist asshole. It was all my fault, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Fuck you. I take full responsibility. Bit late now, isn't it? I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear. It's alright, I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! Oh, does he? No, he doesn't. Okay. Oh, he does! He gets to pick her up now. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, and his knee. Oh, sir. Your underpants. Oh, sir. Lord Van Zykes, what news of Mrs. Gardeb? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they've caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They should have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. I mean, it was obviously an accident. I don't think you can charge them on that. There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. Oh, Miss Olive Green. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we never once met her. How wonderful! The woman's out of danger, it seems. Yeah, it's good news. So, Mr. Sosaki Natsume. You don't have to look behind your back now. You're safe. You're off the hook. Yes? On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study on our great British culture.
and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Eh? Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she'd been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless.
It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now. I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really got the better of him.
Yes, poor man.
So when it happened, I thought that the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should have never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
Oh, he's so nice.
One could indeed say some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We have been fooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Sykes.
Really? Was it really thanks to him?
And our young lawyer here from the east. I feel like Naruhodo here did the heavy lifting, come on. The chain has now been broken, and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both.
Oh!
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for a decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I assure you, I've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Oh, he's there. Sitting in for the old bean while she's out of action, you know? I know what a decision would be. So does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time.
Sir, are you okay? Is everything okay at home?
I'll say I have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman?
Not guilty.
Thank you.
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 Not guilty.
Thank you. And there it is. Very well, Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty.
Yay!
And the more pyrotechnics. Man oh man. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord, sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Oh, sir. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. Oh, man. Okay, well, we successfully won. What a fucking case this was. No conspiracy, no real culprit, just a series of unfortunate events. This is such a stark contrast to the last case that felt completely full of culprits and conspiracies. Oh, welcome. Wait, you mean me? Of course! There's another locum here? Is there even one?
Compared to the original locum student, Miss Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, at last.
I'm free, I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah!
Oh, I'm pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted.
It wouldn't be so hard just to say that then. Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. Oh, no, not that! Eh? Lovely, loyal, locum, loyal! Yeah? Were you just happy to have found a friend? You're my best friend, Soseki. I mean, no, wait. Sasato's my best friend. But you rank second. Second, Soseki. I mean, as I said before, I just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I looked over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down at me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback.
Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume.
But today, you, locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood far behind the baronical bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold, the best barrister ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful antidote to recount in my old friends back in Japan. An antidote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. Fucking Holmes? Yeah, I fucking knew it. Right, next case it gets serious again though, and I'm looking forward to it. A lot of important story. Ah. Oh no. Was this the humor episode? Is this the equivalent of the beach episode before we dive into like deep serious story again? Okay. It's okay. I'm mentally prepared, I think. I'm not mentally prepared. I got so angry at this case. Like I can't imagine the serious story again. Oh god. Oh, and you, Holmes, Slomes, you're gonna be important soon, aren't you? I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. You slept in. In this important case, you slept in.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, what a pleasure to see you.
I see, I am not a moment too soon. Not a moment too soon, he says. I think fucking rightly. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh!
The trial shall visit. He really thought. He really thought. The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. Bitch, go home, we're done here. It's just finished. What? No! Then my haste was all in vain? Oh, actually, that's nice. It's nice that you hurried to get here in time and failed. Ugh, it's you! Her! Look! Shlomes! Oh? The disrespect. Have we met, sir?
This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Holmes?
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first.
Our previous encounters had taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell.
I simply couldn't place that curious face
In the light.
Charming. This is all your fault. Her, Locke, Shrooms. You are the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Ooh, critical hit. It's a critical hit.
Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently,
I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh, critical hit. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Oh, never mind. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir? Forget it. Nothing. This little piece of shit. This little shit, honestly. Priceless. Oh, I'm sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Poor Sosaki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. You can't just see human grief and misery as entertainment, Sherlock. That's not nice. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. He was ready to find a guilty verdict entertainment. This fucking guy. But there's no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Miss Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper. Oh yeah, because Sherlock told him about the Reaper. Fucking hell. Sherlock! All you do is cause problems on purpose. Lord Van Zykes. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed.
He'll be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears, trying to make trouble, I will protect you.
Oh no, me. Okay.
With a perfectly executed Sasata takedown.
Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Mrs. Sato. Sato-san, please. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan? Oh, are you heading back? Yes! I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh.
It's already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city it has shaped. I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
It's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world, to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse? Charles, we're having a moment. Get out of here. That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling flows in my inside. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Ah, a writer. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Sosaki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Mr. Sato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Or what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. But only now does it feel like we've finally found our feet.
And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? I don't know if we can afford that for soon. That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated we can afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
Well then, you can take my lodgings. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Oh, the windowless room. But what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. Sir, how has your experience been in Great Britain? Have you been alright? Oh wait, can we keep your cat? Can we keep your cat? And of course, I'll be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
Oh, my, an evil spirit?
Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's the infallible wake-up call. We'll think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Your home? No way. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Don't you already have a roommate? Really? Oh, Sasato's gonna... Oh, Sasato. Maybe we should say yes for Sasato. Well, a vacancy. Vacancy? Where did Iris go? A vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Oh, okay. So Iris is... okay. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. Does it even have installation? You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of? Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to take lodgings in the Great Detective's office's attic! I'm too overcome for words. So, suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. You're asking a 10-year-old to cook? How old are you? How old are you? You're 34! Sir, you're 30 fucking 4! And you're asking a 10-year-old to prepare You're 34! You're old enough to be her father! And you're asking her to cook. Does she regularly cook for you? Does she take care of you? What kind of fucking meat are you? And you must come too, Miss Natsume. I insist. And you're inviting more people even though you're not cooking? Oh my god, this guy. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes.
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Miss Natsume. It shan't take long.
Oh, the young ladies in this game are too competent. Someone's happy. Iris continues to demonstrate her never-ending list of talents. For real. 10-year-old, writer, doctor, inventor, chef, mother apparently of a certain great detective. Oh, and she's a great detective too. She's like the real deal great detective as well. One that doesn't fuck up in her logic and reasoning dance. Oh my gosh. We all wish we could be Iris. Welcome. I knew you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege to meeting you too. It's a shame we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But look, we'll meet again one day. Oh, I hope we do. In better circumstances. The ladies are clearly carrying the dudes on their backs in this game. Yeah. Iris is like hard carrying Sherlock, and Susato is hard carrying like Ryosuke. Oh gosh. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a more successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll become a successful author.
I hope so. Best of luck.
Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Holmes. I have little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. Wait. Oh yeah, because Susato just went to get the paperwork done. Are you suggesting we leave without them? Sir? And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Holmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. Oh, it's actually quite nice. 4 p.m. Attic room. Wait, Sherlock, did you wake up at fucking 4 in the afternoon? And you still thought you could fucking come to this case? By gods. So this
Is to be our new office, yes.
our office? I rather like the sign of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
It's nice. I hope you can see this, Kazuma. I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh, whoa! I don't know why I'm so shocked to see him without a hat, but the vibe is completely different. Why does he look like that? Oh, the vibe is so different when he's missing his hat and jacket. Wow. Mr. Holmes. Yes, thank you so much.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Holmes. I simply adore it.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you.
Ah, there she is. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate.
Oh, we did leave him behind.
Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be charged of the salad.
Once again, the lady is a hard carrying.
Splendid.
Sherlock, you're not even gonna ask if the 10-year-old needs help in the kitchen? You know, at age 10, I could barely make a fucking sandwich. I can't imagine making a dinner for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office in this premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Conspiracy! Sorry? London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest shadows. Oh, actually! Cast the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. Boy, do I. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. What the fuck, dude? You can't just drop that kind of before dinner! What are you trying to pull here, buddy? Sherlock Holmes. Foreshadowing. Of course, at that time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sherm so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came. To lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. And, okay, I kind of landed in London awarded. God damn it! Sherlock! Okay, so... Sherlock! Foreshadowing is great. It's like edging me. It's like teasing me about what's to come. Oh my god. Sherlock, what the hell? You can't just drop that on a person. Like, can you imagine inviting someone over for dinner in the preamble before you go down and sit down to eat, you know, a meal cooked by a 10-year-old that you did not help at all? A 10-year-old and a 16-year-old are in charge of fucking dinner. When there's 2 adults in the house. Oh my god. The state of affairs in this game. Sherlock. You can't just drop that on a person. You can't invite someone over and just drop that. What the hell was that supposed to mean? Okay. I guess we're truly deep diving into the conspiracy in the next case. So I'll have to mentally prepare myself. Because this was a super easy, like almost I don't want to say joke case, but like almost joke case, right? Like it was a fun case. And even with this case, I got super fucking mad. So, oh god, I fear for my future in like the serious cases. I'm going to be screaming. Yeah, so I will need to mentally prepare myself for the depths of which we have to dive in order to dig out this mystery. The next case is technically the last case of the first game. Because I remember you did mention that not everything is resolved in this game, right? Not everything's resolved in this game. It's resolved in the second game. Oh god, so we'll have to wait. I'm still waiting on like Shanghai, like all the people that were in Shanghai, like to be like important again. It isn't that. I feel like I'm getting Chekhov's gun. Like, come on, you mentioned it so many times. It has to be important. The Brit got sent to Shanghai. The revolutionary was from Shanghai. There was other things in Shanghai that I forgot. Like, it was mentioned. I feel like it has to be important, but it's not. Bamboozled. I've been led astray. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out in due time. Okay, well, we're calling it here for the night. Thank you for coming to this stream. Thank you for watching. Gods, what a case this was, and what a case we'll be in for next time. I think this Saturday I probably won't be able to make, so the next stream we'll pick it up on Monday most likely. So next week, new case. We'll figure it out. We'll finish this game sometime soon. I don't know how many parts it'll be, but hopefully it'll be quick and efficient. I'm praying that it's quick and efficient. But yes, thank you all for coming. Thank you for attending, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.